Guys and ladies, I know it's been a long time since I posted a video here on YouTube, but I've been like extremely busy with school and everything. But during that process, I have been working on other projects as well, and one of those being is the solar tracker, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. But it's just a few things I want to point out before we get to that. I definitely just have to give a lot of credit to this guy named Mike at this forum called electrotechonline.com. I'll be posting a link to that as well, but he really put in a lot of time and effort helping me to understand why he put certain components in this circuit and how it works and everything like that. So I definitely have to give a big thanks to that guy. And another thing that I want to point out is this project is going to be like an open source open source project, and what I mean by that is I'm basically not going to add on to this project anymore. It's more or less something that you guys, anybody out there who wants to add on to it, maybe takes a few components out. The reason being is it just became a little bit more complex than what I was looking for. So I plan on in the future using a different technology, which is going to take advantage of the microprocessor once I learn how that works, and it's going to accomplish the same goal here that you will see in a minute that I have with the current circuit. But I will be putting all the information on my website at solartechtown.com for you to have all the resources you need if you do want to pick up this project where I left off and possibly get it working the way it needs to be working. So anyway, without further ado, I know you're ready to see exactly what it is I have been working on, so let's just go ahead and get to it. Alright, so just to go over a few components here. Right here you can see I have my circuit, which is basically the brains of the entire system, and I will be posting this schematic on my website as well. As you can see, I have a lot of wires going everywhere. This is basically something like the rough draft of the final version, so if I was turning this in for a project, I'll probably clean up these wires. But again, I will be posting the schematic so you'll be able to see exactly what's taking place here. But this circuit here is built to be able to handle 12-volt devices. Since I was planning on using a linear actuator to be my motor for a small solar tracker. But just something else to note, I wasn't trying to build a huge solar array and put a solar tracker on that. So this is really just for a small project, and I'm not really sure how much it can really handle. Again, this is something that I just built to a certain point, and then I just found out it was just going to be way too complex to put in certain features that I wanted it to have. But right now it's at a really good point, and you will see that in a second here. But just to continue going on here I have the power supply, and here I have a 9 to 12 volt hobby motor which I purchased from Radio Shack, and this is just one of the motors I used to test to make sure it was turning left and right the way I wanted to. And something else I need to point out, this is a single axis solar tracker that I'm working on here. As you can see, I just have 2 photo transistors, and what those do is detect the sunlight. And my goal was to start with a single axis, and then I would actually add the full axis and maybe 2 more photo transistors. But anyway, you'll see how that works in a moment here. And let's just go ahead and get started here. What I'm actually going to start this off with is just 5 volts, because this hobby motor spins so fast it's kind of hard to detect if it's spinning left or right. But let me just zoom in here, and I'm just going to use like a basic flashlight here to act as my sunlight. So here we go. Right now my flashlight is in the middle, and if I go over here to the right, it starts spinning. It's kind of, I think it's spinning to the right side, but a lot of this can be changed depending on how you build your solar tracker. There it is in the middle, stops. Now something that this doesn't do that I wanted it to do was detect when it's nighttime, so it would actually return back east or whichever direction. I really can't remember without looking at it, but it wouldn't return back to the starting position when it's nightfall. So that's something else that you will have to figure out how you want to hook that up into this current circuit. if you do want to build onto this project. There are ways of doing it, but again, it just became too complex for what I was seeking. But now I'm going to hook up a linear actuator and just show you how that works with it. Alright, so now I just hooked up a linear actuator, and I'm not going to go into the specs of it as I want to keep this video a little bit shorter than usual. But here, like what I did the first time is just test this circuit with the hobby motor just to make sure everything was working right before I used something I paid over $100 for to test it. So this is normally what people use in their solar trackers, is some type of linear actuator, but you don't have to use it. But anyway, this time I'm gonna actually turn this on to 12 volts, as this is what this linear actuator requires. And here we go. So again, depending on how you built your solar tracker would determine which direction this is actually turning it. But as you can see, going here to the left is actually pulling the stroke out. Here in the middle it stops it. Now I'm going over here to the right, it's pulling it in. So these are just basic tests that I ran, and I'm just trying to show you that it does work. But again, the feature that I mentioned earlier about it returning back to the starting position at night is something that you probably want to add in. Alright, so what you're looking at now is basically the frame of the solar tracker that I constructed myself here. And this here I was going to actually use for a school project that I was working on, which I really still can. I mean, the whole project actually does what it should do, which is follow the sun back and forth. But anyway, I just want to give you an overview of how I expected it to work and how it does work. So, and I will be giving you a little bit more information on this frame as well on solartechtown.com. So anyway, just to go ahead and get started here, I'm still controlling the sun with the sunlight. So here we go. And behind it, what's pushing it is my linear actuator. And it's just a few tweaks in here and there that I need to make to it. Here I'm bringing the solar panel back to the left side. Alright, so that's basically it to the solar tracker project that I've been working on. And again, it is open source, so some of you guys and ladies who may want to pick up the project from here and maybe add components to it or take components that you see you may not need from it, feel free to do that. And again, I will be adding more resources, like some of the components that I did using the film here, or the video I just uploaded. Here at Solar Tech Town, just click on this solar tracker link, and I'm going to put like extra information that I didn't say in the video because I was trying to keep the video shorter this time. But I will be updating this page here with additional information that you need, as well as the schematic and stuff like that. So again, it's been fun. Thanks for viewing. Subscribe to your friends, and I will see you next time.